Welcome to the deep dive. You've brought us just a fascinating collection of sources today. And they're all focused on a topic I think is often, overlooked in language learning, true emotional fluency.
It really is, yeah.
And look, we aren't here to just list a bunch of basic vocabulary words. Our mission is to really extract the natural phrases.
The shortcuts.
Exactly. The linguistic shortcuts.
Yeah.
The ones that let you talk about your inner life with the confidence of, well, a native speaker. Because let's be honest, in every single interaction, whether it's with a colleague, a close friend, or someone you just met, feelings they're the core currency of connection.
And that's exactly why this material is so valuable.
Mm-hmm.
People can get so bogged down in, formal grammar.
All the time.
But real conversations, they hinge on your ability to articulate clearly and naturally where you stand emotionally. Our sources today are just so practical. They give us structured categories, positive, negative, and mixed. And they show us how to use them to make sure you're understood, not just, heard.
Okay, let's unpack this. Starting at the top, the high notes. When you are genuinely feeling great, just saying, I am happy, it often falls flat. It sounds so generic.
So generic.
And our source material, it immediately pushes us toward more context-rich, more authentic expressions, things that communicate excitement or gratitude or just a great general state of being. We need to move beyond describing our emotional disposition and start describing our emotional state.
That's a great distinction.
So phrases like, I'm in a great mood, or the highly useful one for appreciation, I'm grateful for your help. And of course, the emotional exclamation mark, that made my day.
What's really key there for you, the listener, is that technical distinction you just touched on. When we say, I am happy, it often implies a long-term character trait, a disposition.
Like it's my default setting.
Exactly. But when the sources suggest, I feel really happy today, or I'm in a great mood, we're communicating a temporary state. And that specificity is so crucial in English. It makes the expression feel immediate and relatable.
That's a brilliant point, the difference between defining yourself and just describing a moment. And speaking of moments, let's talk about that made my day. It's so high impact. But is there a context where maybe you should avoid that kind of enthusiasm?
Oh, absolutely. While that made my day is, perfect for friends or informal settings, it can carry a bit too much emotional weight for a professional environment.
Okay.
So if your boss approves a project, saying, I'm thrilled with this outcome, is professional and positive. But saying, that made my day, might suggest that your day was, terrible up until that moment.
I see.
Which can sometimes come across as a little too vulnerable or even dramatic for the workplace. And we see this in the sample dialogue, how positive feelings are often earned. The exchange has someone stating, I'm feeling really good. I just finished an important task, so I'm proud of myself.
Right.
The source material is confirming that the good feeling is rarely just random. It's a direct, justifiable consequence of an achievement.
That justification, even for positive feelings, it just elevates the whole conversation. But, if we only talk about the highs, we miss, 50% of genuine connection?
At least.
So let's pivot. Let's look at where the sources focus on navigating difficulty. Because it's equally vital to express yourself naturally when things are challenging or stressful, both for setting boundaries and, I think, for managing the expectations of others.
That's a big one.
The phrases here, they range from the sort of mundane to the overwhelming. You have the simple signal, I feel a bit tired, and then it moves up to, I'm feeling stressed right now, or even, I feel overwhelmed. And this one, I think, is so useful as a social signal. I'm not in the best mood today.
Admitting difficulty, especially in professional or social settings, is actually a form of powerful communication. It immediately tells the listener that you might not be operating at 100%.
And it does so politely.
Yes, politely. We see the short dialogue demonstrating this. Someone notices a friend looks tired and asks, are you okay? And the reply is so focused and contextual, it's, yeah, I'm just a little stressed. I have a lot to do today.
And notice how the speaker doesn't detail their entire stressful task list?
No.
They use the workload as a concise, universally understood reason for their emotional state. It's like a strategic summary.
Precisely. If you just say, I am stressed, the listener might worry or start to pry for details you're not ready to give.
Right, they might feel they have to fix it.
Exactly. By adding, I have a lot to do today, you provide a container for the feeling. It manages their expectation, it reassures them it's likely temporary, and it gives a clear, understandable reason that relates to external pressures, not some deep internal crisis.
Okay, so here's where the analysis gets really interesting for me. Talking about those complex, mixed, or just uncomfortable feelings, life is rarely a simple good or bad.
It's almost never that simple.
And if you can't articulate that complicated middle zone, your communication just sounds flat. Our sources give us some phrases that act as these excellent psychological signposts. Things like, I feel confused, or my favorite, the incredibly versatile expression we should all use more, I have mixed feelings.
Hmm.
And then there's the one for when the feeling is too new to even name. I'm still trying to figure out my feelings.
Let's focus on I have mixed feelings for a second. Someone might hear that and think it sounds indecisive. So why is admitting that complexity actually a strength, not a weakness?
That's a really fair challenge. I think the strength comes from honesty and detail. If you just say, I'm happy about a huge life event like a promotion, you're probably missing the truth of it.
Right.
That promotion probably means relocating, or more hours, or much higher stakes.
And the source material uses that exact scenario. The question is, how are you feeling about the new job? If the answer is just, I'm excited, it's incomplete.
It's a lie, almost.
It's a partial truth. The richer, more honest answer is, I have mixed feelings. It's exciting, but also a bit stressful. By combining the excitement and the stress, you're signaling a much more sophisticated understanding of the situation. You're showing you've weighed the pros and cons. It avoids oversimplification and, ironically, shows greater emotional control than just picking one positive emotion. You're inviting a much deeper, more authentic conversation.
That richness is definitely the key to fluency. And once you start getting into these nuances, how you deliver the message becomes just as important. We need to focus on how to be honest, but also gentle. This is what the sources call softening your feelings.
The social lubricant.
Yes. It often relies on inserting these small modifier words that strategically manage the intensity of what you're saying. Think about the tactical power of a bit, kind of, or a little. For example, instead of the really stark declaration, I am worried about the meeting, you transform it. It becomes this socially acceptable reassurance. I'm feeling a bit worried about the meeting.
And those softeners, they allow you to communicate vulnerability without demanding a huge immediate response from the listener. If you say, I am upset, it sounds like you need an intervention.
Right. It's an alarm bell.
It is. But if you say, I'm kind of upset, but it's okay, you've acknowledged the feeling while at the same time assuring the listener that you have it under control. But we do have to be careful, right? Not to soften so much that the message just disappears. If you say, I'm just a little tiny bit, maybe sort of worried, possibly, people will just ignore you because you haven't been clear.
You've neutralized your own point.
You have. The effective softeners, a bit, a little, kind of, they reduce the volume, but they maintain the clarity of the signal.
And we also see the ultimate polite summary, which is a conversational masterpiece in itself. I'm not feeling great today.
So useful.
It's vague enough to discourage those prying questions, but it's clear enough to manage expectations. It tells people you might be quiet or need some space. It's a complete package of politeness and boundary setting. So we have all these fantastic nuanced phrases. Now, how do we stop sounding like we're just, reading from a vocabulary list?
Right.
The sources give us a simple blueprint for this, for making these feelings actionable and clear by providing context. They give us the essential formula, I feel, plus the emotion, plus the word because.
That because is everything.
It seems ridiculously simple, but that because clause is the absolute key to clarity and validation. Let's look at the 3 examples they give us. I feel happy because I passed my exam.
Okay.
I feel frustrated because my plans changed. And I feel relaxed because I finished my work early.
The simple structure is I would argue the most insightful part of the source material, especially when we think about cross-cultural communication. In what linguists call low-context cultures, like the US or the UK, we're expected to explicitly connect the feeling to the cause. You can't just throw a feeling out there and expect people to guess the context. The power isn't in the grammar, it's in the justification. By using that because clause, you're proving to the listener that your feeling is valid, it's rational, and it's tied to an observable event.
That makes so much sense.
It moves the conversation from the subjective realm of just, I feel this, into a collaborative space where the listener understands the why, and that invites a much more meaningful and supportive response.
That shift from declaration to justification, that is a massive upgrade in fluency. But fluency isn't just about talking about ourselves.
No, not at all.
It's about engaging with the people around us. And our sources wrap up by offering the essential language for turning the focus outward, for initiating those caring, natural conversations. We get several key phrases for this, moving from the direct to the more supportive. How are you feeling today? Is everything okay? And when you suspect something deeper, do you want to talk about it? Or the very direct, how can I help?
And the best inquiries, they often begin with an observation. The sources provide a great dialogue that shows this. It starts with, you seem quiet. Is everything all right?
Yeah, I like that.
It shows you're actually listening and paying attention to their behavior, not just reciting some formal greeting. And the beauty of these questions is that they open the door without forcing the issue. The common response, even if the person doesn't want to talk, is simple and effective. I'm okay just thinking about something?
It's a polite out.
It is. But by asking the question, by using phrases like, what's on your mind? Oh, you confirm that you acknowledge their internal world and that you prioritize that social connection. It strengthens the bond, no matter what the answer is.
So this deep dive has really delivered a strategic arsenal of phrases. From those polished, positive phrases like, I'm in a great mood, to the essential context-setting structure of, I feel, because.
Mm-hmm.
The practice here isn't just about, acquiring vocabulary. It's about strategic deployment. Talking about your feelings in English using these natural expressions is just the fastest way to connect better with people and ultimately to express yourself more naturally.
And as you integrate these phrases, I have mixed feelings, I'm a little nervous, I'm not feeling great today, your confidence will just climb dramatically.
Yeah.
We've talked about application, but let's look at the philosophy, kind of underpinning the language for a moment.
Okay.
The sources gave us this useful mini practice set, and in it were two very distinct but also compatible phrases. I feel hopeful about the future, and I'm not feeling great, but I'll be okay.
Two very different signals there.
Why?
One is looking forward, and the other is just dealing with the immediate reality.
Exactly. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, consider the powerful combination of holding on to that long-term vision of being hopeful about the future, while at the same time admitting the necessary reality that I'm not feeling great, but I'll be okay.
So one is about surviving the present, the other is about looking past it.
You've got it. And this raises, I think, an important question for you, the listener. What emotion? Is it hope, that focus on the future, or is it resilience, the ability to acknowledge pain and still function? Which one is more critical for achieving true fluency and for navigating the complexity of the world?
That's a brilliant way to wrap this up. Consider which of those phrases, that future focus or the grounded resilience, you'll integrate into your daily conversations first. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into emotional fluency.